Another interesting and important parameter to measure is the capacitors that feed the IGBTs. These capacitors are found on these boards at this point in these areas. It is true that on some electronic boards they are not visible and their measurement is much more complicated, but at least on this one it can be done. So we are going to measure voltage there on these capacitors. We have a multimeter and it looks much better there. We look at that point, and we still don't have the voltage. We have millivolts because the capacitors are not activated since the compressor is not turned on. We will wait a moment until the compressor turns on and then we will be measuring the 15-volt voltage. We will continue waiting. We wait a few more seconds. Now the compressor has turned on and we can now control that voltage. There we have the 15 volts perfectly maintained. These capacitors are fine and we will not blame them in case the IPM does not activate. Of course, in this case the equipment is working. But with a unit in which its IPM does not activate, or we have errors on the startup sequence of the compressor or of the compressor itself, we can blame these capacitors and we have to do that control. At the moment it has to turn on, there must be 15 volts exactly. If there are less and you suspect that they are the problem, you have to remove them and control these capacitors outside. Remember that, on some electronic boards, as we have already explained, these capacitors are not there. They are in areas that are more difficult to control. Keep that detail in mind. Please leave a comment if you have any questions.